Alright, what's going on, guys? Nitro Nick here, and today I'm just going to be talking to you guys about a little bit of car setup. I am running this car in VTA. It has the VTA tires and wheels on it right here, as well as a spec motor ESC and spec battery. So I'll be going over kind of what I have in the car in a later video, but right now I'm really interested in learning about setups, and I felt like I should share that with you guys a little bit. It's really basic stuff. I don't expect this video to be very long, but it should cover the very, very basics of what I've learned so far. I haven't had this car on the track yet, so I don't even know if my setup is right. It's probably not. It's probably completely wrong, but we're going to see how it does next week. But in this video, I'm just going to talk about a little bit of basic setup. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing about setup is going to be your ride height. Now, as you can see, we are pretty darn low to the ground here. Now, when I got this car back in January, I had no idea what RC car, touring car racing was really about, and no idea really how to get into it. But basically, especially for VTA, and I think it's touring car too, but VTA's minimum ride height is 5 millimeters, and of course, you want to have a low ride height because that's going to have a low center of gravity for you. It's going to make your car handle a lot better and prevent body roll, which is something you never want in your car or even your real car. So basically I did a very, very rudimentary measurement, and I'll show that to you guys right now. So I got myself a ruler and I put down a line at 5 millimeters, and I just drew that line straight. And basically what I do with this is I just put it up to the back of the car and check if it's at 5, and it's actually over 5. If can't tell right there, it's about 5.5 or so, which is what I want. I actually want a little bit of rake in this car because I want a little bit more steering. Now I shouldn't say that because I don't really know what I want. I haven't driven the car yet, but that's what you have to do if you want more steering. You want a little more front weight transfer to the car, and so putting a touch of rake in the car will give you that. Now, for those of you that don't know what rake is the angle between the front and the back. You can see, I don't know if you can, it's kind of hard to tell, but the back of the car is slightly higher off the ground than the front of the car is. You might be able to tell right there. There's a little bit of rake, so I try to do 5.5 millimeter ride height in the rear and 5 millimeters in the front. And how I check the front is I turn the car around like this, just like that on the side. We'll go up close here. I will grab my rudimentary tool here, is the post-it note, and then I know it's hard to tell, I'm gonna try to get pretty low here, and actually that's about right. I could probably go a touch lower in the front, but that's about right. So that's what you want. You're looking for 5 millimeters of ride height. So you might be asking, Nick, how do I get ride height? Great question. So how you change your ride height is actually by adjusting the spring tension here. So if I go up on the springs or loosen them, if I turn the collar left and loosen it, I will be lowering the car because there'll be less tension on the springs. So I'll be lowering the car. If I tighten it down on the spring, I'll be raising the car. And I had to drop this thing probably 5 millimeters from when I got it. It was very, very high. It was basically a monster truck as far as RC racing is concerned. So that's how you do that. You just literally untighten these and it drops the car down. Sorry about my hand there, a little close. But yeah, it drops the car down. Do the same thing in the rear to get your ride height, and just try to make sure they're pretty even. Mine, I don't know if they're even. I don't have a electric caliper or anything. I should get one, but for right now, it'll probably be good enough to practice and kind of see where I'm at next week. Okay, so what I want to talk about next is called Droop. Now, Droop is the amount the arms travel when your car is unloaded. And what unloaded means is right now it's loaded, it's sitting on its own weight, but unloading it, picking it up, and now it has no load on the front, correct? And dropping it back down. So it's going to be hard to see here, and I apologize. I am filming this on my phone right now until I get better camera, but basically, maybe I'll show you on this side. It'd be a little easier to see if I turn the wheel a little bit. Yeah, I know, it's struggling, I'm sorry. But basically, so right now, settle the suspension, okay? This is ride height, race ride height. Now the arm is right there. This little bolt down here, that's the arm. My finger's on it right now. That's what's holding the wheel on. It's connected to the suspension and the wheel. So when I pull this car up, pay attention to the wheel. And right now, so pay attention, the wheel and the spring basically. So I pull the car up, it's still on the ground, and now it's off the ground. And it drops that much. So I read online that this guy, he sets the droop to until the shock barely comes off this upper collar right here. So pay attention, I've pretty much done the exact same thing. Right here, check this out. Tension comes off the spring and the car's off the ground. Set it back down. Now how you adjust the droop is with these screws right in here. And you can't really see it, and again, I apologize. So using my ride height gauge, there's a screw right there on the arm, and you tighten it, it brings the car up, and if you loosen it, it puts the car down. I'm not really sure how droop is going to affect the handling yet. I've read some stuff, but you really never know until you actually do it, of course, so we're going to see how that goes. But that's pretty much how you set the droop. I did the same thing in the rear, so I literally just set it, and this might be easier to see actually. You can see the arms here. I'm going to get it right even. Pay attention to those and how much they come down before the wheels are actually off the ground. Check this out. It's very hard to see. It's pretty unnoticeable, but they do go up. That's kind of how you set that and how you go about doing those two things. That's it. That's just the basics of what I've started to do in my car and how I've started to set it up. So again, like I said, I'm going to go to the track next week and check it out, and then next week I'll also do a video on kind of like what I got for my car and how I put it together and kind of what my thoughts are on it. This again is a X-Ray T1 FK05. It came out in early 2005, so it's pretty old, but it should be perfect for VTA, and I'm really excited to get going. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.